And then next up we have Blastoise. B for Blastoise. Blastoise pretty solid. You got Rapid Spin, Water Spout, Surf, Hydro Pump. In terms of the moves you want to mix mash together, Rapid Spin, Water Spout is the only option, as well as you have Surf and Hydro Pump only. Two separate. If you mix those shits up, congrats, you're through the game, Buster. It's over. Your career is over. And unfortunately for everyone listening to this video, I was one of the schmucks that actually mixed the combo by accident. So I was playing a game. I think the first you choose either what is it? Surf or Hydro Pump first. I forgot which one I chose first. I chose one first. I dropped my controller when I leveled up and it hit the other moveset and I felt so fucking ashamed. I was like, what am I fucking doing? I was running Surf Water Spout. I was like saying, oh yeah, this is fucking fantastic. This is gonna clutch us the game for real. But yeah, don't do what I did. Don't drop your controllers, please. Just like, you know, like no Butterfingers, for the love of God. In terms of items, if you're running the Water Spout Rapid Spin set, you can go Choice Specs, Special Attack Specs, Twisted Spoon, or maybe Shell Bell, depends on the situation. It's up to you though, mix and match if you choose. If you're going with Surf and Hydro Pump, you can go Aeos Cookie, Focus Band, Rapid Fire Scarf, and I'll explain that in a minute. Or you can go Energy Amplifier and maybe even Buddy Barrier too. So real quick though, I just want to clarify Rapid Fire Scarf. I know it's like gonna boost your attack stat, which is not really what Blastoise is. It's a special attacker. On your third hit, kind of similar to that of Mamoswine, instead of freezing, your cooldown actually gets reduced by 1 second. So if you can like spam your auto attacks, you can get like your movesets back pretty quickly. I just find that this benefits more or less like Hydro Pump set and the Surf set. Get some nice crowd control in there. And again, master both movesets in this situation, because at the same time, see what your team lacks. If they're lacking damage, go Rapid Spin, Water Spout. If they are going for if they already have like a lot of attackers, try going the Surf Hydro Pump. That's what I would recommend. What are your opinions on this?
So, you know, you pretty much nailed out the park. Like, I have nothing else I could say. You pretty much said everything perfectly. Yeah, Energy Amplifier benefits, I'd say Water Spout, Rapid Spin set, because if you use Unite and then bust that combo out like right after, you're doing massive amount of damage. Buddy Bear, I think, could probably run regardless of what set you go, considering the fact that it's either if you do it offensively, you just last longer. If you do it defensively, you just become the biggest tank on the field by far. So I think you're fine whichever option you do choose, because I think what Blastoise's ult originally, it does give you a 20% shield, so adding another 25% on top of that is pretty good, honestly. 45% shield altogether is a lot in comparison to like some Unite moves in the game, especially alongside defenders and supports, which we'll get to soon, hopefully. But yeah, he pretty much said it perfectly for Blastoise.
I love Blastoise, bro. Blastoise is fun. All right, next up we got Lapras, and by Lapras I mean Lapras. Honestly, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, let me just double check here, because I don't want to fuck this up. I believe he said it was going to be for a solid, it's a solid B tier mon, if I'm not mistaken.
He said it was B tier originally, yes.
Yeah.
The problem was you also had Mamoswine in B tier as well.
Yeah, so this is the battle of the ice types, because they're the only two ice types that are defenders. So in terms of moveset, you have a Bubble Beam, you have Water Pulse, you have Ice Beam, and you have Perish Song. So honest opinion about this Pokemon is fucking fun. I love playing Lapras sometimes. Items you can run: Focus Band, Twisted Spoon, Special Attack Specs. Those are really solid items. In terms of how you want to use your moves, you go with the water move set, or you go with the ice and normal type, which is, I believe, Parasong is a normal type move, I'm pretty sure. You go with that. Yes. Water Pulse Ball Beam provides a really solid damage. Ice Beam and Parasong is more of a support, I find, because like you kind of rely on your team to do the most damage there. Take it, you do get 3 Parasongs to use, but I don't know if the game is bugged or something, but I use Parasong when they fall below a certain HP point. and it just they don't die. Like maybe I'm reading the move wrong or something, but I feel like that might be a small bug in the game. But really good mon, honestly. Like I like using it. What about you, Quick?
Me personally, I only played a couple of games with it so far. I only went the ice. I think I went Ice Beam Water Pulse the first time around. Like when I played those two matches, I'm not too sure really on its build. I'm still trying to learn it. I don't want to say too much about it considering the fact that like I've never used it. But I will say though, going up against it, it can be very annoying considering one, you don't have to evolve it, so already off the bat it is ripped, and two, this thing's unstoppable. It's like almost unbearable when it comes to killing it, because the fact that you have to 2v1 it, and even then that's hardly enough to beat it, says a lot about this mon. Like, I think this is one of the mons that a lot of people struggle to kill with, just like by itself, considering it could hold its own and definitely won a lot of 1v1s in comparison to like most mons in this game, regardless of your role. If you're a speedster, attacker, all-rounder, another defender, like it's very hard to destroy this mon unless you're able to pull it off with some cheese. But yeah, I think Lapras is definitely very solid. Has a lot more potential now, and it gives a lot of mons more potential now that the Unite move can make other mons mobility like off the charts. Like, I'm sure you guys seen the clips of the Decidueye riding the back of Lapras, or Cramorant also riding it and just going absolutely bonkers with shooting shit out. So I'm sure that whatever is next to come might just be even crazier than that. Who knows what's gonna happen with this mon, honestly.
So with the Unite move, it's Lapras Express. You get a 20% max HP shield on the activation, 40% max HP shield manually stopping and releasing a wave, and then 30% movement speed after stopping. So that's a lot. I actually didn't realize it was so much detail. Thank you to Unite DB, by the way, that has this information. He is right though. It is fun to pair it up with like the Decidueye or Cramorant. I have found that like I've had the most benefit with Cramorant. Just shooting like Pikachus and Arrokudas at people's faces, really fun. But yeah, there's really not much to Lapras. I'd say the combo, if people are curious, you want to go Water Pulse right off the bat if you're close to your enemy. Then after going for Water Pulse, go for a Bulb Beam, so that way they're immobilized for a little bit. That like kind of like helps your Water Pulse cooldown, like, you know, get closer to, well, helps your Water Pulse cooldown in general, sorry. And then you can just use it again, because the second Water Pulse does more damage than the first one, depending on how many targets you hit with the first one, essentially. That's how Water Pulse works, but that's pretty much your combo there. Not a bad moveset. People run Ice Beam Parasong. I mean, good. It's not bad, but I'm more of the Water Pulse set. Even with the nerf, I think it still hits pretty good. And then next up, we have Trevenant. So Trevenant is going to be also in the B tier category. So in terms of your moveset, you have Wood Hammer, Horn Leech, Curse, and Pain Split. So item wise, I would run something like a Attack Weight, Aeo's Cookie, Focus Band, Weakness Policy. Those are the 4 items like I would recommend. You can mix and match as you please, because of course you can only put 3 items on a Pokemon at a time. You can go like Wood Hammer and Horn Leech. That's really good. And you can probably go Curse and Pain Split. I think that's the other one. Though, yep. To be fair, I don't actually know much about Pain Split. That will be the one. I've played Trevenant a lot, and I've never really understood the mechanic of Pain Split. Like, I understand how it works in like the actual Pokemon games, but in this one, it's a little bit like weird. But you got, yeah. I want to say like crowd control versus a 1v1 situation, because Pain Split only targets one opponent at a time. Mm-hmm.
So the best way to think about it is like it's like the only true pairing with Curse. If you use Pain Split with either Wood Hammer, or no, with the other option, I believe it's Horn Leech.
No, I think it is. I think you are meant to go Wood Hammer. I think it is Wood Hammer versus Pain Split, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay, then yeah. Regardless, make sure you're using Pain Split with Curse only, because if you're using it any other way, yeah, you're definitely losing your matches unless you can pull it off. But the best way that I see is that Curse you could use with either way now, ever since the Wood Hammer buff came about. Because Horn Leech and Curse, I believe, was like the best option for it because you got so much healing out of it. Yes, Curse does damage you, but though you get the healing back so easily once you get the full gauge going. And then Horn Leech right after just gets so much healing as well. And you have them stunned for a while. I think the combo before was Horn Leech, Curse, and that and because if you get the Curse gauge all the way to full, it does reset the cooldown for your other move. So if you run Woodhammer, you get that back. If you get Curse, if you run Horn Leech, you also get that back. So it was pretty good, if I'm honest. But yeah, Trevenant is definitely a very tanky mon. Great late. It's a very great late game. I would even argue you can maybe make Buddy Berry work into it because if I'm not mistaken, its Unite move shield also scales to how many how many mons you hit in the area. So if you hit like if you hit one opponent, you get 20% or 10% even. I'm not sure, but I know it does go up like gradually depending on how many opponents you get with the initial hit. So teaming up with Buddy Berry does make it very strong. If you get all 5, I think that's at least a 70% shield. I could be wrong. Do not quote me on that.
For which one? Sorry.
Trevenant. Trevenant's shield.
With the alt, right?
Yeah, with the alt. Because I know
20. It's a shield of 20% max HP.
Oh, even after you hit, that's when you hit all 5 opponents, or is that?
It didn't really state anything about hitting all 5 opponents. It's a let's see. Oh yeah, it does stack up to 5 times. So I believe it says like up to increase up to by 50%, at least based on what I'm reading here.
Yeah, so that sounds about right. So yeah, because I'm pretty sure it had like potentially one of the highest shields, depending if you hit all 5. But otherwise, it's just like average shield no matter what. So don't worry, don't stress too much about it. Yeah, what Jay said about the items like works out perfectly for it. I personally run that build too. I used to. I haven't touched Trevenant in a very long time, if I'm honest. But though, I still think it's very viable nowadays. Like it's just very hard to see just to get play as much now, especially since we had like 3 defenders come out recently. One of them we just talked about. The other 2 we're about to get into. So moving right along, let's say we get on to the next one. Actually.
All right. Next up into the A tier, we got Sticky Wicky Goodra. This is another Pokemon I actually enjoy playing a lot. So with this moveset, you have a Muddy Water, Power Whip, Dragon Pulse, and Acid Spray. Okay, so I'm gonna be honest with you. I usually run Muddy Water, Power Whip. You can also run Dragon Pulse, Power Whip. Those are very solid movesets. If you run Acid Spray, consider yourself a more advanced tackle from a Gumi, which in my opinion, like I don't even like going for tackle on Gumi to begin with because you charge into the opponent. You back up just a teeny bit. You don't back up a lot. So if the jungler comes, you're probably dead as fuck. Items though, Focus Band, Twisted Spoon, Shell Bell, or Rapid Fire Scarf. So similar to that of Blastoise with Goodra, if you hit on your 3rd boosted attack, your cooldown is reduced by, I want to say 1 second, which is why Rapid Fire Scarf is very solid because this applies for your auto attacks only. Muddy Water is going to increase your defenses, and Power Whip essentially just takes opponents that are in like a specific box from a it's like a range attack essentially, and it kind of reels them in. Think of it like a fishing rod essentially.
I was gonna say, think of it as like Venusaur's boosted basic attack actually, because that's the best way you can compare it to. Yeah,
you can think of it like that as well. So you reel them in, you Muddy Water, then you start attacking, then you Muddy Water again. This essentially is going to increase your defenses again. So at a point where you are actually the highest, tankiest defender out of all these mons, kind of like the opposite of Crustle after he uses Shell Smash. Think of it like that. Dragon Pulse, essentially, if they are in your specific range when you shoot them, you actually heal a shit ton of HP. You match this up with Power Whip as well, bring him in, Dragon Pulse, get all the HP back. My problem with this is that I can't do it. I don't fucking know why. Skill issue plus L plus ratio plus old man. I can't fucking do this to save my life. So that's why I always go Muddy Water. I'd rather just be thick than like steal HP or gain HP back. I don't know. Kind of like they both do the same thing in terms of tankiness, but I'm a Muddy Water guy.
Yeah. I feel like you can get Focus Band to proc. Like, say you're running the Dragon Pulse way, I think you could get Focus Band to proc. It's the same thing as Snorlax situation or Slowbro situation too, where if you time it right, you can actually proc back, get the healing back up to like 75% HP or more. I don't play Gudra. I still have yet to unlock it, if I'm honest with you. But it is very hard to go up against. Like, it's definitely not as like hard to kill in comparison to like Lapras, but it is very dangerous to go up against. I will say that for sure, considering all the clips I've seen, and just power up in general. Like, it could definitely throw you off a lot if you aren't careful enough, because that could set up for a lot of like 2v1s, 3v1s, or even just like a lot of Unite move setups for like, say, a Leafeon, for example. If that just comes in barging out of nowhere, your team could essentially just get like one bursted right there with power whip to an ult. So Gudra is definitely like a very good option in today's meta for sure.
And then I would say on top of that, your Unite move, Right as Rain. So what it does is you heal yourself for 6 seconds, and then all your boost attacks become, all your basic attacks become boosted attacks, so that actually lowers your cooldown even more, so you can combo up with that. A smart way you can use the Gudra Unite, I'd say, is not when you're like on like less than 30% HP. Use it kind of like when you're in the middle, or like maybe like 75% HP. It sounds crazy, but trust me, like, at least you survive longer if you use it when you're very low on HP. Yeah, you're healing it back, but if your like opponents are like, it's like a, say like a 3v1 or 1v3 or whatever, how you want to look at it, they'll probably like out damage your healing, so you'll just die right off the bat. That's why I typically like to use it like during my halfway HP. That way I can have some more durability. Then once my Unite ends, I still have my Focus Band to rely back on, and that's what I would say. And then like it turns out your actually basic boosted attacks are actually lowering your cooldown by 1.5 seconds, not 1 second. So that's really good. So that's why Rapid Fire Scarf with your ult pairs up fairly nicely. Last thing I would want to mention though is your ability is Gooey. If your enemies or wild Pokemon are near you when you're attacking them, or they're attacking you, they'll slow down. And when I say they slow down, they slow down. Like, it's wild. Like, it's really, it actually is what makes power up pretty good, because you can just like, if they're trying to get away, you just have a slow moving target, just whip them back in. You're not getting away, Buster. But yeah, really nice ability. I like it a lot. I
ain't gonna lie, I straight up thought people were just running Razor Claw on that thing. No wonder I was getting slowed down. I thought it was a passive.
It is melee too, but keep in mind that the only thing you're benefiting from that is going to be the slowing down effect, nothing else.
Yeah, I didn't realize. I didn't know that was a passive. I thought that was straight up everyone using Razor Claw on this thing. I was like, what the heck is going on?
That's gooey, dude. If you're going slow as fuck, that's gooey.
Damn. Okay, good to know now.
Alright, so we've gone through over 9 defenders. So here's the last one, and honestly, oh my fucking god, please, bro. I love this mod, but please nerf it. Nerf it! Tencent, you're so bad with your fucking games. It's not even funny. And I've only played this one, so. Alright, here we go. The big bad boss, Umbreon. Umbreon's movesets are Mean Look. You have Mean Look, you have Wish, you have Foul Play, and you have Snarl. So we're gonna like sum this all up in a few words. You have Healing on Wish, you have Stun that lowers and movement speed lowerment with your Snarl, traps enemies with Mean Look, and knocks back enemies with Foul Play. All of that shit is a part of Umbreon's kit, essentially. There's not one bad move set out there. People usually go Foul Play Snarl or Mean Look Wish. You can also go Foul Play and Wish. I have seen players run that and they do really solid. Items, Weakness Policy, Focus Band, Attack Weight. You can swap Attack Weight out for Aeos Cookie depending on if you want to apply damage or not, but this Pokemon is a fucking raid boss. It's so scary. You also have an unstoppable shields. Like, that's like every evolution that they get like a shield, except for I believe Sylveon. But yeah, where are the nerfs?
I'm sure nerfs are gonna come eventually. I mean, Inteleon does come out soon. We just got the announcement on Mewtwo is coming out this Oh, it is July actually. I forgot. Yeah, we're recording this like July 1st, so Mewtwo does come out this month too. I believe it's Mewtwo X, if I'm not mistaken. So that's definitely something to look out for. So we should have patch notes coming out sooner than later. I also believe season does reset this month too, if not next month. So we should. So that's also a take where we may get patch notes very, very soon. Okay, not very, very, but like soon enough within this month. But yeah, I'm sure nerfs will come through eventually. But what they nerf, I think it might be the power play scaling. If I'm honest, yes, power play it does operate how it does in the main games. It does base damage off your opponent's attack stat, which, in my opinion, is still crazy to believe that they actually implemented that. Considering it would be very hard to do such a thing, especially when attack way exists. You have all these other held items that add towards your attack stat, like Muscle Band, Rapid Fire Scarf, Razor Claw, if I'm not mistaken, adds a little bit of attack stat, Float Stone, etc. There's so many options. But yeah, I thought it was going to be hard, but no, they did it. And now we have by far the best defender. And not only that, he didn't even mention the Unite move. The Unite move is also insane too. The fact that you get to steal your opponent's shields is incredible. The fact, because you basically just scale on top of shields too, so you time it right, you could basically counteract a Unite move as if it did no damage to you at all, and have your own shield on top of that. So essentially, you could be like one of the tankiest people in this game without realizing it. I mean, yes, you're an evolution. Don't get me wrong, but though still.
Not to mention, we also there's one thing also. Last thing with that Unite move, if you have that Unite move, you are constantly healing 1% max HP every second. So what I noticed is that once I got my Unite move and I took a little bit of damage, I kept healing and healing and healing. And I was like, what the fuck is happening? They thought this was okay. I can do this if I have my ult and I didn't even use it. Yeah, no, it's not something that happens after you use your ult. It's always happening when you haven't used it. Keep that in mind. That shit is crazy. I know 1% doesn't sound like a lot, but hey, on this Pokemon, that's a big fucking issue, bro. Like, actually.
Like, the best way to think about it is like lifesteal on any attackers. Like, it's like having two passives, really. Like, you get passive healing and you get your actual passive, which is kind of like broken as ever. I don't even know what else you could say about this. Like, it's one of the best things ever. I don't know if we clarified this, but we didn't mention a single thing about emblems. I think it's probably best that you explain what's gonna go with that.
I guess okay. So if we're going over items, I mean not items. Sorry, if we're going over emblems for your physical attacker defenders, I would say you want to go 6 white, 6 brown. Focus on attack and defense or special defense as best as you can. You are able to do 6 orange and 6 white now. That is a thing. And if you don't want to do that, you could also focus on like some other color emblems, mix and match there. I'd say 6 white is definitely the way you want to go, even for the special attackers. But if we're talking about special attackers, I would say maybe go like 6, the opposite of orange or brown,
so
brown, which is green. You want to go 6 white, 6 green, or you can go like maybe 6 white and include some black in there with some green. Like, you can mix and match with those. In my opinion, those are really solid. But 6 white, 6 green and versus 6 white, 6 orange is probably the way you want to go, to be honest.
Yeah. You can even get cooldown emblems going as well with some mons. Like, I've seen cooldown emblems on Blastoise. That works out pretty good. I've seen physical cooldown emblems work out on Mamoswine as well. That can be good as well. But tier list, I think emblems in general, like, it's just gonna be for another day because there's so many possible options you can go with. It's like almost hard to like debuckle as to which one benefits off of which one, especially because there's so many mons that could benefit from different emblem sets. Where it's like, okay, where do we start?
Yeah, that's gonna be a video for another time. But
yeah.
But thank you again, Quack, for joining me and reading all these defenders. Because
yeah, of course, no worries. It was a pleasure talking about this.
I haven't like played some of these defenders, Slowbro and Green him mostly.
Let's not talk about Green.
Yeah, just don't use green. And last remark, or a few reminders. Let me know down below what your favorite defender is and what your item set is. If you have any questions, let us know also down in the comments below. Another thing is, stop fucking running score shield on your defenders. Dude, I'm gonna be honest with you, we haven't even gotten to the attackers yet, but a defender can do just as much as an attacker. Okay? Just saying that right now.
Yeah.
But yeah, hopefully y'all have a good morning, afternoon, evening, and or night, and we will see you all in the next one. Later.
Care.